CJ, first question is coming from AJ McCord with Coin 6.
All right, CJ, another night, another big game. What is it about these games that you just are finding your rhythm early in?
Just trying to be aggressive. I think I only scored 3 points in the first quarter, but I had a couple good looks. Try to let the game come to me, but when I get a chance to take advantage, whether it's a matchup, whether that's a catch and shoot three, whether that's a closeout, I just take advantage. And I think I've done that consistently, and that's why I've been successful.
And why is a shark the animal that you compare yourself to when you get going?
I'm a killer. Figure out ways to eat. I've always figured out ways to eat, and I think that's what best describes me. Sharks just go hunt. They don't worry about things. They never worry about how they're going to get their next meal. They don't worry about anything, and that's how I live my life.
Next question is coming from Jamie Hudson with NBC Sports Northwest.
CJ, how would you describe how valuable Rocco was in the second half, slowing down Siakam, and then obviously in that final possession?
He was great. He took it personally. I told him that Siakam felt like he had a matchup tonight, and I think he took that personally after the game. And he pointed out, I think he had 4 points in the second half or fourth quarter, and he got a big stop down the stretch. He didn't want to switch. He didn't want no help. He wanted to take on that responsibility, and I think that's showing signs of some of the reasons why we brought some of these guys in, and some of their defensive versatility and ability to adapt.
Next question is coming from Jason Quick with The Athletic.
CJ, can you take us inside your mind on the final play? I mean, that's a high pressure moment, and you spin, go between your legs. I mean, it's like it was the park.
I work on this stuff, man. I work on my game. So I tell people all the time, like my dad asks me if I'm ready, or my mom would be like, "You ready for the night?" I'm like, "Mom, I've been ready. I do all I need to do to get ready for these games, so that I just have to show up. I show up, and results should usually be there." But I'm at peace when I have the basketball. I'm at peace when I'm on the basketball court. I feel very comfortable in all situations, with the ball, without the ball. Understanding the time and score, rebound. I knew we weren't calling timeout because we don't like to call timeouts to get the defense set. Defense was loaded. Everybody's in the paint. Historically, throughout my career, I live at the boxes and elbows. I'm shooting more threes this year because I can, and I worked on it, but I'm still going to live at the boxes and elbows when I need to. Growing up, you always know where home is, and I think that's where I've made my living up to this point. So I felt very comfortable. I wanted to get him moving in each direction. VanVleet's a great defender, but he's smaller. So you gotta move the smaller defender before you dribble to spots. And the spin move just came naturally. It felt like it was what needed to happen. So I spun. And when I came off the spin, I kind of glanced to see. I seen Melo across. I seen the help side. And I was like, nah, I'm going to get to about 10 feet. So I changed the direction again, get his hips moving. And then, as my brother would say, baby food. Get the baby out the street, finish him off, and go home. Go home, tuck your wife in, tuck your dog in, and start your next day.
Next question is coming from Dwight James, NBC Sports Northwest.
Just following up on that a little bit, CJ, I know you like to get to your spots, and you always have. You've always talked about getting there. Are you watching the defender, or are you is everything about getting to your spots, or are you just looking to see what he gives you? What is your thought process on a play like that?
The only time I looked at him is before I caught the ball. So I glanced up court to see. Gary got the rebound. Dame was running. They denied Dame. So I knew. I was like, all right, they got to outlet it to me. I'm coming. And I seen who it was. And after that, at that moment, now you just look at the help side. I say it all the time. I feel like I can get whatever I want. It's just to make or miss. So I knew I was going to be able to get to a spot. And as I came down, I was thinking, like, do I want a three? And I was like, nah, I get to the midi. And that's when I spun, because I was about to hesitate and pull up. But I was like, nah, I get to the mid-range. It's an easier shot. It's comfortable. And I didn't want to shoot like an 18-footer. I wanted to shoot like a 10-footer. So I got below the elbow, like to the left, like right elbow, but like below it. I wasn't as high as I was in Denver or like most games when I shoot the midi, because it was the fourth quarter. So I was like, just get a little closer, shoot over top of him. And that's what I did. But now I wasn't worried about him. I mean, usually you get to a certain level, you look past the defender, you're worried about the help side, trying to figure out if they're coming or not.
Next question is coming from Mark Medina with USA Today.
Hey CJ, hope you're hanging in there with everything. Just putting your players union hat on, the NBA was saying today that they're going to talk with the union about possibly modifying some of the protocols. Do you know where things stand with that? And are there any things at the top of the list that you think
I was
need to
actually with my PT today, so I missed the call, but I followed up via text. I think the list will come out. I don't know if I'm allowed to speak on it, but they're just going to tighten up some things in terms of masks, in terms of testing for people in households and things of that nature. Obviously, it's rising. Positives are rising. We're having to cancel games. So just figuring out ways to kind of tighten things down, whether that's shoot around. I think Woj tweeted, whether that's shoot around, whether that's post-game interactions. I think Bradley Beal missed a game for talking to Jason Tatum post-game. So they're just trying to tighten things up and limit our risk of, player-to-player contact.
Next question is coming from Christos Saltos with Sport DNA.
Hello, CJ. I would like to ask you, you are down by 17 during the first half. You won the game. What it means about your mentality as a team, and also about you? How enjoyable is to play alongside with Dame and Melo on the court?
It's a lot of fun, man. Two guys who are, one is a lock Hall of Famer, the other one is on his way to being a Hall of Famer. So it's a lot of fun watching them, learning from them, seeing how they approach the game, the mentality, the work ethic, and how they rise to the occasion in big moments. But in terms of being down 17, we've been here before. There's no fans, so you're in every game. And although we are at home, they're on the road. They were on a back-to-back, so we felt like at some point they would start missing shots. They hit a lot of threes. Boucher, whatever you say, his jumper is very nice. They hit some tough threes. We gave up some backdoor layups and made it easy for them. But down the stretch, it's tough to play back-to-backs in this league. I felt like if we made it difficult and gave them long possessions, they would miss. And they did down the stretch. And luckily, Siakam missed that floater.
Questions coming from Casey Holdall with Trailblazers.com.
CJ, just curious what you thought about Carmelo's fourth quarter. Obviously, you got off to a rough first half, but came on strong in the second half, helped you guys get over the hump there in the fourth.
He stayed with it, man. Not only did he rebound well, he communicated well. It was a small ball game. No real big men in the game. Nurk goes down. So he knew he had to rebound, communicate. Obviously, spread the floor. He hit some big threes. He had a big three down the stretch that I passed him off the pump fake. He had a big turnaround jumper late in the game. Just his presence out there, him being able to communicate, and the shot recognition. People respect him. They recognize him. And he gives us a lot more space and creativity. And he set a great screen for Dame's three. I think people won't recognize that, but that's like a Draymond Green type of play where, you see the transition flow. Sprints from the baseline. The hedge man can't get there in time, and Dame gets a clean look that turns into a contest late.
Got time for two more. Next question coming from Jason Quick with The Athletic.
CJ, when you talked about being at peace earlier, when you have the ball in those moments, has it always been like that, or when did that kind of peace start coming, and what goes into that?
I've always wanted to take shots. I've always wanted to be the one to miss because I can handle it mentally. I think it's just how I was raised, how I worked. I've always wanted that, from high school to college to even in the league. I've always wanted that. So I think it's just a comfort level of my mentality, what I've gone through, what I do to kind of prepare. I'm comfortable with failure, and I'm comfortable with success. And I think that's why I'm at peace. And I think it stems from, fifth grade, I go into the free throw line, no time on the clock, missing the free throws. Like I've done that, and I've seen the other side of it. And it's like, okay, that's what failure feels like. I can handle that. And going forward, like I missed the free throw tonight, I'll miss more free throws. I'll miss threes. Some nights I'll do that spin move, and I'll get to this spot and I'll miss. And you guys will say, well, you didn't make it tonight, and did you force the shot? And it's like, no, this is what I do, and I can live with this. So I'm comfortable with success or failure, and I'm gonna be me regardless. I'm gonna live my life regardless. So I think that's why I'm at peace with whether or not I score, because life's not going to change. Just gonna go into the next game.
Last questions coming from Aaron Fentress with the Oregonian.
After a lot of these sessions, you tell us go Browns. What was a bigger thrill, the Browns winning the other day or hitting that game-winning shot? Also, Jason Quick's a huge Steelers fan, so you might want to give him some grief.
One of the things about being used to losing is you got to figure out how to handle success when it comes. And as a Browns fan, we aren't used to success. But I'm not going to rub it in because I know what it's like for your team to lose games. Big Ben didn't play well. It might be the end for him, and he gifted us that game, and we truly appreciate it. But that's tough. Is it bad that that's tough? The shot is great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I work on my game. Like, that's great. No fans here. Like, get to your spots, go home, kiss the babies, go to sleep. But what the Browns did, you know, being an underdog, 28 points in the first quarter, Baker's rolling, hasn't thrown a pick since Tupac died. Everything is just lining up for us to win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
If we beat the Chiefs, which I don't know, it's a tall task. If we beat the Chiefs, we're going to the Super Bowl, which is crazy to think about. So I always say the shot is my livelihood. That's how I provide. So that was more important. But historically, from where I come from, people in Cleveland, you don't understand how happy people are right now across the world because we've waited for this moment for so long. And we do it without our head coach, without 4 starters. Man, it was written. Blessings. Go Browns.
That's the walk-off.
First.
Walk-off answer.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.